we're going on a very live-action trend in this episode of Keikaku Korner, Tristan. So we're talking about the live-action JoJo's Bizarre Adventure movie. Now, this confuses me a little bit. I didn't see the clips. I didn't see all the clips. So I know that stands exist. So I know what stands are. It's not like that, doesn't confuse. Jesus! You okay? Are you okay, Tristan?
Yes.
Is that your stand?
I saw that. Yes, that's my stand. They're not going to be able to see my stand.
Right. In the audio, Tristan
they?
just started headbanging, which is very awkward.
I saw the clips, and I have to be completely honest. Like, I know I've just gone on about how I don't like live-action adaptations, but like,
yeah, right.
The stands look amazing.
Well,
and I was not expecting that.
But that's what I love about CG now, is that you can use CG on a budget, but still make some really good looking, like anything, monsters, whatever it might be. So I have a feeling that because it's Japan, they probably did CG on top of practical, even though it's funny because I haven't even seen the clips, but I have a feeling. But still, the reason what I was going to say is that so I haven't seen, this is part 4 that they're adapting, right? Diamond is Unbreakable.
Yeah.
So right. So I'm not even on part 3 yet. Because the podcast that we've done is we've done up to part 2. I'm sorry, Tristan. Okay. So he's looking at me menacingly. It's funny if you're watching the video, you're like, no, it wasn't. But if you're listening to the audio, you're like, he might have been.
People see the kanji going across the screen. Menacing.
Yeah, right. The menacing kanji. But no. What I'm trying to say, right, is that even though I haven't seen it, I'm just confused as to why they jumped to do a live action for part 4 and did start with part 1. Do you think it might be because the anime just came out?
I feel like it's just the popularity of part 4 and that it's a decent place to... Honestly, it's kind of a decent place to pick up just to have a movie for.
Yeah. Well, because...
Yes, it does have ties to part 3, but, like, nothing that's really, like... It doesn't make sense unless you've seen the previous part.
Yeah, and I haven't seen either, but I would argue that just from what I know about going into part 3, from what you've told me very little bit, because I don't want to be spoiled, so I'm not spoiling anyone, but just knowing, like, oh, okay, this is this person, and this person's here, and this person's there, like, from part 2, it would be really awkward to start with part 3. So you can't start with part 3 if you're not going to start with part 1. Like, I would argue it'd be really awkward to start with part 3, because I know a little bit of who's coming back, and I know about stuff like that. So like, it would be kind of weird to start part 3 without doing part 1. And if I don't want to do part 1, then it's like, well, then you can't do part 2. So like, yeah, it would make sense to jump to part 4. It just, even though I know nothing about it, but from what you've told me right now, it does make more sense. But yeah, I'd also assume because the anime just came out, that that's another thing too. Because not only is it popular in general, from what you've told me, it's also like the anime just came out, so it's like, duh, why would you not bring it out now? But yeah, so I want to look at the clips once we're done with the episode. I think that it's, I mean, like you said, it may not be terrible, and it's kind of sad because whenever I look at something, right, and it might be like a trailer, whatever it is, when I go into it being like, oh, it's going to be amazing, I'm always disappointed, or I'm usually disappointed. So I have to go into it thinking that it's terrible. So the Netflix Death Note movie might actually surpass my expectations because of how low the bar is.
Right.
Which is interesting because talking about live action adaptations, I think the bar was so low for me for Evolution, yet somehow they still managed. They were like, no, man, we're going to work really hard just for you, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to make that bar go lower than you ever thought it could. And then some.
It was really bad because, like, it was such, like, bad limbo. It was like that Futurama episode where, like, my back was going to snap, my spine was going to snap in half. And, like, I was like, who set the bar this low? And all I hear is, like, it was I, Dio.
And it's like, I get trying to change a few things here and there to fit a story within a movie, but holy shit.
We can't talk about Evolution now. We just can't.
No.
Yeah, no, but...
I never will, but I just want to drive that point.
We're gonna get him to talk about Evolution one day, but today's not that day. Today is definitely not that day.